Hey, welcome back to the Successful Lead Generating Coaches channel. My name is Arfan, co-founder of Automate Scale, where we help coaches leverage the power of paid ads so they can maximize their lead generation and increase sales, increase conversion. And in today's video, I want to talk about something that's really important, and it's on ad headlines. Now, ad headlines are really important because right now in the current state of meta, especially with the new Andromeda update, what's happening is that we're seeing where it's no longer so much about interest targeting, but creative targeting, which means that it's actually your entire ad copy, ad creative as a whole. So this is your copy, your video, your images, and your headline. Now the thing is, the headline stands out quite a bit, just as if you were when newspapers and magazines were more and more prevalent, and even books nowadays, when you're walking by, what really catches you out is a copy on that magazine title, the book, or if you're reading an article online, the actual title of that, the headline, is what's going to stop you to actually consume that article or read that blog post or pick up that magazine. So we want to apply the same concept to our advertising as well. This way we can actually generate more leads and more conversions across Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube as well. Okay, so let's dive right in. I'm going to go into the Facebook Ads Manager, and it's going to go through what it actually looks like when we're setting up an ad. I want to talk you through my thought process on headlines and what's been really effective for us as a company. So let's dive in. So it's just a generic ad. I'm not actually going to run this. It's just something to use just for example's sake. So I have a webinar I normally run. It's just on how to get started with Facebook ads. It's a very simple webinar. So I'm going to put my URL. It's going to pre-populate some data. So you see here, I already started. Get started with Facebook ads. Now that alone as a headline is going to attract someone who's totally at that level of they have some awareness. Now there's 5 levels of awareness, and essentially when we're creating our ad copy and our headlines, depending on who we're targeting, they're going to be at a certain level of awareness. So if someone's totally unaware, we would use a type of headline to communicate with them versus if they're problem aware. So right now they're actually more solution aware. So someone who's getting started with Facebook ads, like they're solution aware. They're already aware that they need to get clients. They're already aware that they need to market. They're already aware that Facebook ads exist. Now they're looking for a solution. Like, how do I get started with Facebook ads? So this headline is going to target someone who's more solution aware. Right? And then the 2 levels beyond that is product aware and then most aware. Typically, if someone's most aware, they already trust you and they're most likely already a client, right? So anyone who's most aware have already gone through my programs and they're excited to work with me. So when we add media, we could do video and image. So just for example's sake, I'm just going to add an image. I'm just going to do a random image. I'm not really trying to, like I said, I'm just giving an example reasons for this. So I'm not actually setting this fully up right here. I'm going to leave that alone because I want to actually do it in the actual ads manager. So I'm just going to skip all that for now. Now scroll down to the actual primary text. So this is your primary text, is your ad copy. Think of it as your caption. So if you're writing a regular Facebook post and you put an image and next you have your caption that you're adding, this is what this is. So let me just go ahead and copy some generic copy that I have. I'm just going to pop this in here. This is not important right now. We're not really focused on the copy right now. I'm just really going to talk about the headlines, right? So now the headline. Now Facebook gives you the option to apply their AI headline, which in some cases can be pretty good. Definitely review it. Here's what happens. If I choose all 5 of these selected, my single image now becomes 5 different ads. And that can be a problem, especially if we don't have the budget to push this out. And also, we want to make sure that it's an alignment. Now, this headline copy, it might look pretty good. I'm going to turn that off right now, right? Because again, I want to teach the principle and the concept so you can understand this, because this is what's going to help you to be successful with ads. And if you have a team that's running your ads and you're like, I think I want to get better results, I want to get higher quality leads, or I want to see more conversions, I want to get a higher click-through rate, this is where you're going to be focusing on, making sure that the headlines are good, okay? So there's some examples of the headline. So again, if we're targeting someone that's totally unaware, so they don't realize the ads are even an issue yet, and they just feel stuck in the business in general, this may not be a good offer because, like right here, my actual image, I'm tired of DIY Facebook ads that don't work. Sounds familiar, not alone, etc. So here's the thing, right? I would do something like, let's say, and I pre-wrote these, right? So the growth ceiling coaches don't realize they've hit. And I'm going to talk about, they're unaware. So they don't realize what happens after going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months continuously on organic marketing, and to realize that there's a ceiling to where if the algorithm doesn't want to push your content, it's not going to push your content out. And I've seen this over and over again. Someone comes to me and like, I produce content 2, 3 times a week, but my reach never goes above 400 or 500. You know, there's a few videos that have like 15 or 2,000. That's a lot of people, yes. However, in the online space, like you need to get thousands and thousands and thousands of views just to be able to generate enough leads to even host a live webinar. Now with ads, that's a little bit different. So I can do this right here. And then it's gonna track someone who's really at that unaware phase, because now we're looking at the growth ceiling coach and realize, so like, oh wait a minute, there's a growth ceiling that I don't realize yet, and it's gonna spark that curiosity, and it's gonna reach somebody at that earlier phase. So this will be a good headline to have, because again, if I think of my ideal client, I work with coaches, consultants, online course creators, membership owners, a lot of crossover. You could be a coach who's a course creator. You could be a coach that has a membership. You could be a coach with a high ticket program. Now, any of those, these are all the people that we work with at Grow, Automate, Scale. This is our niche. This is who we help the most. We get the best results for coaches. So this is who we help, right? So this will attract someone that is at that early phase. The next thing now is going to be the problem aware phase. And I want to have these different headlines, and I want to be able to test. Now, I want to go about this saying, well, I don't really care so much about targeting the people who are unaware, because they're not at that phase yet where they're ready with ads. Like they're still too early in their coaching business to where they may not even really be generating much revenue to be able to invest in advertising right away. And they may be looking at something where they want to learn ads. So if I'm not running an offer to teach people ads, I'm running an offer to help just, you know, for me and my company to run the launches or run the monthly ads manager for you. This wouldn't be something that I want to put out, because now I'm going to get a mismatch in the people I'm getting. I'm going to be getting those who are at that phase of now they're unaware of even how to, you know, that they need to get into advertising because their organic strategy is only limiting them to a certain ceiling, but they also don't have a budget to invest in ads. So it's like, well, they got this amazing information, they're now aware, but their timeline to conversion is going to be so far down the road, I'm not going to see a return on my ad spend until maybe, at the earliest, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months. Because if you think about what it takes to actually grow a coaching business, and those who've done it, and there's one-offs, right? Someone gets in and they're really, really on, like, not their first coaching business, maybe the third coaching business, and they're ahead of the game. And they get better results in 6 months versus someone who's brand new, who just first coaching business, first time even in a business period. Their timeline to success is going to be a little bit different, right? This is just being very tactical and very tangible with this. Now, the next one is going to be the problem aware, right? So this is someone who knows something isn't working, but they don't know what to fix. They're like, I have a problem. I have a problem in my business, and I don't know exactly where it is. So they don't know that their problem is really lead generation and being able to get enough leads coming in. That's typically the biggest problem they're not even aware of. They're like, oh, it's maybe my website, or it's something like my email, you know, the thing I'm using to send out emails or something like that. They're not really even focused on, wait, your machine, the system you have to generate leads is broken. It's dependent on the algorithm, is dependent on XYZ, and it's not an actual system where you know every single day I can generate between X amount of leads consistently if I do this. Now that can be developed organically by producing consistent content. You build an example of like, okay, well, if I produce XYZ, I can expect to get maybe X amount of leads per week or per day. Now in paid ads, you can be able to say, if I do a budget of $5 or $10, it'll give you this much leads. If I do 15, 20, it'll give me this much leads. If I get X amount of leads coming in, I'll convert X amount. And you can reverse engineer that math to now make your ads super, super profitable immediately and also get an extremely high return on ad spend later down the road. This is where a lot of coaches make launches, like they open their program and they're filled up without having to really do a whole lot because they already have that system in place. So when they're opening up their program, there's essentially already a line, formed to sign up for that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the problem aware. So this is like someone who's like, okay, you know what, they've been in ads. They've maybe spent a few $100, or most of that is probably through boosting posts because they hear someone say, hey, run ads, or like they're like, okay, I'll do a webinar, a masterclass, a challenge, or something like that, and they'll run ads, and they may spend a few $100, and now they're like, okay, problem, I don't know how to run ads. Like, I hear this is good, but I don't know how to run ads. So something like why coaches struggle when they try it, when they first try Facebook ads. Because now this is going to bring awareness to the problem of, hey, this entire platform is designed for everybody. And the vast majority of advertisers are those in e-commerce. And then you have service-based businesses next. And then finally, you have information business, those who are coaches, consultants, things like that. So out of the 10 to 15 million advertisers, the bulk of them are e-commerce, and a lot of this system is designed for e-commerce. So it'll give you suggestions and it'll give you things that has been very, very effective for certain brands, especially those who are in e-com. Now, e-com covers a lot. Like, it covers a lot. If you think about it, it covers quite a bit. So if you're setting this up without having any sort of guidance for your niche, what ends up happening is that you may take some generic advice, or you may see it says right here, a plus 3.85 click-through rate opportunity. So right here it says, this result is based on our experiment ran between June 13th and July 6th. The experiment automatically showed text variations to 81 million ad impressions on a daily basis. Results may vary. So with 81 million, what niche is that? Is that my niche? Is it someone else's niche? What exactly is that? And what we see is that when we're running something for a coaching business, there's a specific messaging that we need to get so we can speak to the psyche of the person. If you're a life coach, something like this may not work really well, because what happens is that this will actually change and pull people away from the actual core message of your brand. Because often we're looking at that end offer. Business coach, life coach, we're looking at the end offer. We want to have people work one-on-one with us. We want to join our group program or join our membership or a course, whatever it is. And we're working backwards to meet someone right where they are now, whether they're unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, or most aware. So again, right now we're at that problem where like they struggle with Facebook ads and they're wondering why. It's like, okay, I know ads will work because there's evidence of it, right? There's evidence of it. Everyone's in a program where someone's crushing it on ad. Most people, I won't say everyone, most people have a friend or some online buddy that they have that's crushing it, totally crushing it with ads. So they know it works. So that's going to attract someone at that problem aware, where they're like, okay, I've been in ads, but now I'm trying to see where, why I suck at. Now it's someone who's first trying ads. Now this could be a spectrum, but most of the time, 80% of these people are using a budget that's maybe outside of who my ideal client is. As an agency, we work with those who have a decent budget, who are looking to spend at least $2,500 a month on ads, or at least a $4,000 to $5,000 one-time ad spend on their launch to be able to generate enough leads so that way the conversion rate can give them a profit enough to where they can see a 4, 5, 10x return on ad spend. So something like this is going to give someone who's problem aware, but at the same time, like the first try ad. So it's like it's going to attract a lot of people who may not even have done it yet. Maybe they've only boosted a few posts, or they've tried just a few hundred or so. And this is a great headline if my offer is going to go into like, now I'm going to teach you how to run ads, or I'm going to teach you how to do this. It's very, very small percentage of people that's going to be joining that who may be ready and willing to invest into like a larger type of offer. And that's totally fine. It's just that you've got to think about, well, who am I targeting? Where do I need them to be? And is my headline speaking to them at the right level? So now we move into the next one, where it's solution aware. This is where they know ads will help, but they aren't confident in their approach. And what they're looking to do is they're really trying to like avoid the guesswork maybe, or they're trying to like get this done right. They're like, okay, I've boosted posts before. I've tried a whole bunch. I've tried like running ads to these webinars, maybe spend $300, $400, $500 every time, and it's just kind of like I see a little bit of traction, but it's like it pulls back. Kind of see it working, I kind of see it not working, and I can't afford to be losing any more money. I want to get it done right. So this is where a headline, something like "How to Start Facebook Ads Without Guessing," can now speak to this person who's ready to start their next campaign, but they're tired of guessing. They're like, oh, I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess. Now, there's different iterations of this. I'm just giving some examples right now. You can really sit down and write out 15, 20 headlines. And the only way to truly know is to run all of them to see what the audience is hitting on, right? Because then you can get some tangible data. So, but just to kind of think about, okay, well, am I targeting someone who's really now, are they product aware, or are they solution aware? And where's at the end of my training or at the end of my funnel, what am I going to offer them, right? So this again is now someone who's more, they're solution aware. They already realize Facebook ads out there. They know that there's a different way to increase their confidence in their approach to be able to get better results. Okay. The next one goes into now product aware. Now product aware is where they're like, all right, they're comparing options and they're looking for the right starting point because they now know that, hey, there's a product out there. There's actually people out there, support systems out there that can help me with ads. I don't have to do it myself. I don't have to try to figure it out on my own. I can actually get support in this. So this could be something like, let's see here. Use this one I wrote down here. So Facebook Ads Foundation built for coaches. So now it's like, wait a minute, there's actually a Facebook Ads Foundation and it's for coaches. This is actually speaking to someone who's searching because they're like, hey, I'm a coach and I want to actually do Facebook ads. I'm beyond the guessing point and I'm looking for a strong foundation. So it's going to reach someone who's very much like at that level of their product aware. They know that there's offers out there and they're most likely going to sign up and they're going to come, and you're going to see people who are, and often when I run mine, I often do headlines for product aware, and it's not uncommon when I do my live trainings or my email list, people have come, they're already in ads, like they're already running ads, whether they're running it themselves for like $5-10, and they're just not confident to get it scaled up yet because they're not sure what the future holds. So they're looking for support, and they're like, okay, they want that foundation, they want it strong, they want to be able to have someone who's been there, who's doing it on a daily basis to be able to help them. And this is where these type of headlines come in now, because again, we're really product aware. Think about yourself too as well. What are some solutions you're looking for that you know a solution is out there, and you know there's products out there, and you're actively seeking a product that's going to help you to get XYZ result. And think about like, hey, what kind of headline would actually attract me? And think about the same thing as well for your business. Where is your ideal client at, and what kind of headlines are going to attract them? Sit down, write out 5 to 10. Give ChatGPT the prompt or Claude the prompt, or whatever copywriting tool you're using the prompt to say, hey, generate me 5 headlines for a product aware ideal client, and it's going to generate you a 5 or so that's going to be able to speak to someone who's more product aware. Now, there's the last phase, which is the most aware, and this is where now, like, hey, these work great for like retargeting the warm audience because they already trust you, and right now we're just looking to take consistent action, consistent alignment. It's very true that sometimes people will get to know a brand, but they need like 7 to 11 hours of total time spent with that brand in order to make a buying decisions. And depending on how well you're doing content or how well you're communicating with your leads, that timeline can vastly change. That's why some 5-day challenges work so well for selling high ticket program, because within that 5 days, you're able to spend a lot of time with someone and you just hypercharge that trust, and you build them from either, if they're totally unaware, you could take them to completely most aware, product aware within that 5 days. Same thing too as well with summits or challenges, like I mentioned. But with masterclass, it's a little bit different. You may want to actually reach somebody at a level of awareness to where if you meet someone who's totally unaware and you're going to take them through the 5 phases on a webinar, that becomes very challenging to do. So now this is where you got to think about, hey, I want to get people who are actually solution product aware, because then they're going to be more of a qualified lead to come to work. Okay, so let's talk about most aware. I already trust you, and this could be something like let's see here, like this one. Let's set up your Facebook ads a smart way. That's a great one to go with. Is again, it's someone who's already like, hey, they're already running ads. They're already like, they already be following someone. They're like, all right, well, let's see what you got. Let's see about how I can set up my ads. Now, a lot of these are catered to teaching ads, of course. Just in this example. So we got to think about, think about where your ideal client is at. What's gonna speak to them, what's gonna resonate to them, and when you generate your headlines or create your headlines, or if you have a team that's giving you headlines, you can review it from that lens. Because again, most of the time when I'm advertising for a client, they're bringing the webinar to me. They're bringing the content, the masterclass, the challenge, the freebie, the PDF, or the self-liquidating offer. They're bringing that to me, and they're like, hey, Arfan, let's create some ads. My team gets cranking, and we deliver it. So it's very important to be able to know now, hey, I'm looking at this, and I know that when I created my self-liquidating offer, my intention was to reach people who are already solution aware, but I noticed these headlines are kind of talking to someone who's more unaware, or could it potentially reach someone who's more unaware versus someone who is solution aware. And that's where you could be able to now have more effectiveness in your advertising, especially when you're looking at like, hey, how do I continually get success in my ads? And how can I generate enough results to be able to scale my business and be able to hit the revenue numbers that I want, right? And this is just a small piece of the entire ads puzzle. Hope this has been helpful to you. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share with someone. And of course, if you're looking for support with your advertising, if you're looking to either do done for you or done with you, let's schedule a time to call. Let's go to arfanhussein.com/start. And you're going to be able to get a link to schedule a free 30-minute Scale with Ads, complimentary Scale with Ads call with me. And on this call, it's not necessarily just something where it's a sales call. It's more just about a right fit. I want to make sure that it be a right fit for me and my team to support you in what your ad goals are and what your business is at. So if you come to me and I can tell your business is not at that level yet where you need to start running ads, I'll still give you the blueprint to where you need to be to when you're ready to run ads. Okay? So if this sounds good to you, go to arfanhussein.com/start, schedule a free call, and I look forward to chatting with you. With that being said, thanks for tuning in today. Have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next video.